So I wanted to come on this evening and share briefly with you all. For those of you who are new, welcome on Facebook. Go ahead and drop me an emoji or a comment so I can greet you. If this is your first time on a live with me, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Tiffany Huff Struthers, and I am an evangelist, author, and entrepreneur. I work specifically with women to help them recover from their worst setbacks, then share their stories and experiences to make major impact. Hey, Booch! And for the month of February, I am doing a live stream every day. So if you have not already, you want to subscribe on whatever social media platform you are on so you don't miss out on the jewels that are being dropped. Specifically today, I wanted to share about, this idea of planting seeds and why it's important for you to keep planting seeds, why it's important for you to continue to sow into someone else's vision as you are either preparing to build your own or as you are in the process of building your own. And you might be thinking, it's taken me all I've got to build what I'm trying to build. How do you expect that I am going to help someone else, and why should I? So I want to share these 3 points. So if you have a piece of paper, a journal, you can grab a pen and kind of jot these things down. So the first reason why you need to be sowing into someone else's vision is because we don't grow alone, right? So there will come a time when you are going to need the assistance of others to sow into your vision, whatever it is. And we were created to be in relationship with one another. We were created for connection. So if you are expecting to grow, right, wherever you are, and you have a vision that you are expecting to grow at some point, whether it's now or in the future, you are going to need someone to sow into you. So when you begin to plant seeds, you begin to build connection. And the investment that you make, what you are planting, you are going to reap from what you are sowing. Right? So you are going to not only be blessing their vision, you're going to be blessing yourself, because you are also going to reap from what you sow into that person's vision. And the reality of it is this, we are always, or I see a lot with the women that I work with, people that I connect with, they're always asking, how do I get a mentor? Where do I get a mentor? Mentors do not come for free. Right? So if you are in a space where you need to grow, you're trying to connect with someone who is further along on the journey, someone who has experienced things that you are preparing to experience, or someone who might help you who might be able to lift you as you climb, then you need to be willing to sow into what that person is doing. There is nothing that comes for free, right? If you invest nothing, you can't expect a return on an investment of nothing. So the very first reason why you need to be willing to sow into someone's else's vision, and to do it consistently, right? And to do it with excellence. So don't hear me saying, oh, let me go and ask so-and-so if I can volunteer at doing this, or if I can serve on her board or something like that, so that you are specifically doing it to get something in return. Right? You have to sow with excellence. You have to execute whatever you do with excellence, not because of the expectation of what you will get back, but because you believe in what you have to offer. When you sow into someone else's vision, not only are you lifting their vision, but you are putting yourself in a place where you are living by example and showing what you have to offer, which naturally will lead to growth for you, connection for you, and your vision. So the first reason is because we don't grow alone, right? The second reason is because you do need a mentor. You do need to build a network, right? And you can't expect that because you pop up on social media one day, or you show up at one networking event, or you volunteer one time, that people are going to be drawn to you and what you believe is most important, or what God has told you to do. That is not the case. And even if he gave you your vision or your mission or your idea that you are preparing to manifest, he did not give it to you only for you. Maybe he gave it to you so that you would be the one to write the vision and make it plain. But if you know the rest of that infamous scripture, it says so that someone else can pick it up and run with it. It's not only for you. And so you need to be sowing into someone else so that you can get connected with like-minded people, right? And so that you can begin to build whatever he is telling you to build. Again, not with that specific intention, but because you have to be in community. You have to be connected. Your vision is not specifically and only for you. It is to impact other people. And so if you are in this space, you are operating in a bubble because you are afraid that someone is going to steal your idea, or if you sow into someone else's vision, you won't have time for your own. You need to shift your perspective. You have to come out of the lack mindset. There is no growth when you are alone. Even when you plant a seed is in need of the dirt. It is in need of water. It is in need of the worms, because all of those things are necessary to cultivate the growing process. So you have to be willing to get planted in places where other people can learn about who you are and what you're doing before you can expect the same. So you want to sow into other people's visions, like I said. One, because you don't grow alone. Two, because you need mentors and you need to show approved. You've got to connect with people. You've got to get out and show approved before anyone is going to want to sow into what you have. And then the final reason why you need to consistently keep planting seeds and sow into someone else's vision is because you never know when you will reap a harvest. You may have in your mind that you have this vision and God has told you to do specific things, and you have tunnel vision because you feel like it's necessary for you to stay focused. And I'm not taking anything away from that. However, your vision should not become a prison for you, right? There is somewhere for you to sow that is going to feed into the vision that God has for you. And I will give you a prime example of this story, of this truth, of all three of these truths. So in 2011, I started my own blog, right? It's called Scenes from a Single Mom. And one of the things that everyone says, right, one of the best practices, if you will, as a new blogger is to guest blog so that you get exposure, you can get connected to a community. And if you are writing on someone else's blog and you share something that is good, people are going to be more willing to read the blog that you host. So I was tossing around the idea of yes blogging, and I got a message from a friend, and she sent me this email, and it had like this blog in it. She was like, they're looking for writers. Here's the description. I think this is perfect for you. You should check into it. And initially I was like, I don't know if I have time for this. Like, I already have my hands full with what I'm doing. And then I decided, well, what do I have to lose? You know, I can tell them how much time I have available to commit and see what happens. So I went through this application process. I went through actually even an interview process to be considered even as a guest poster on a blog. And I should preface that by saying this was not a paid position. This was me offering up my skill set, my time as a writer to serve someone else, right? So I went through the process and I was selected. Right? This is back in 2011, I believe. Maybe even a little earlier, but for sure I was writing for this blog in 2011, 2012. And it was awesome for many reasons. One, because I got connected to a lot of dynamic women all over the United States, right? And I was serving right from the comfort of my own home when I was writing. Also because it grew me as a writer. And, even after I stopped writing for the blog, I maintained those connections and planting those seeds, even though I wasn't paid, even though there were no tangible benefits in my hands. I kept planting those seeds, and I continued to do it until I didn't have the capacity to do it anymore. And eventually the blog kind of went into a phase of archive, right? So it's still available. You can still read it, but they are not posting regularly anymore. So fast forward a few years, I'm no longer writing for the blog, but I am still writing my own blog. I'm contributing to other sources. I'm doing my thing, right? And I get an email from the woman who started this blog. And she says, I'm turning the blog into a book. And I would like to offer the opportunity of those of you who contributed to the blog in the past to be part of the book. And so this was right around the time when I was preparing to publish the book I had written myself, right? And so even before I published the book I wrote completely on my own, blood, sweat, and tears, God saw fit for me to become a published author in advance because of the seeds that I had planted 6 years prior. I had no idea that me sowing into the vision of this woman and her blog and getting connected to this community and making the commitments to write and show up for conference calls at the end of every month and submitting my blog post, this blog was being run like a business. So it was in essence a part-time job that I picked up that did not have any pay at the time. But I continued to plant those seeds. And as a result, like I said, I got connected to other people. I had some mentorship opportunity, and then I reaped the harvest for it 6 years later. And so while I did not get paid at the time, I now became a published author through the book that started from me sewing into that blog for free, and I continue to make money from seeds that I planted 6 years ago every single day. No matter where I go when I vend, this book sells consistently. People love this book. But had I not been willing to plant the seeds way back then, right? Had I not been willing to sow into someone else's vision first, had I not believed in the power of mentorship and sharing my gift and knowing that sowing into someone else's vision would lead to me being able to better serve my people in my vision at the appointed time, had I not continued to do that, I would not have become an author even before I thought I would, right? So I began to reap the harvest at a time when I was no longer even thinking about the investment that I had made. And so I want to encourage you, especially if January didn't go the way that you expected it would have gone, right? You're in February now. You're reconsidering everything you've done, all the goals that you've set. Maybe you are serving someplace or contributing somewhere and you feel like you're second guessing it, whether it's for yourself or for someone else, and you're wondering whether it's worth your time. You really have to take a step back and think about where it is you're trying to go, where you're heading, what you're praying for, and how what you do today, the decisions that you make today, the goals that you accomplish this month, and the places where you sow, how you will reap a return on those investments and the possibility of the harvest you will receive at a later date. And if my story is not enough to encourage you, then I want you to look at it in the context of nature, right? So when you plant an apple seed, when you plant seeds to grow an apple tree, right? The seeds stay underground for years. You hear me? For years. The seeds stay underground for years. For years you see nothing. It's dirt. It looks the same unless the season changes and it snows, right? It could take 5 years, maybe longer, before you even begin to see this tree. But you keep planting, right? You keep sowing, you keep cultivating that seed. And what happens is once that tree grows, as long as you care for that apple tree, it can feed your family for generations. For generations. Do you hear me? The harvest will continue to come. So you have to consider when you are sowing in someone else's yard, right? Maybe you're helping someone else plant their garden. Maybe somebody else is asking you to come and plant a tree with them, help them to get their yard in order, and you're questioning whether or not it's a good investment of your time. You're questioning whether or not you will see a return, and every day you out looking out the window to see if anything has grown and whether you can get an apple, if there's something for you to eat. But I want you to consider how what you do today will not only impact you, but it will impact generations to come. A book is timeless, right? Me making those contributions to that blog 6-7 years ago, I had no idea that it would become a book and ultimately feed my family. Because if I don't have a dime, I can go anywhere with a book and sell it, right? I could go to Walmart with the book and sell it. I can be at the gas station and sell this book and fill up my gas tank. So I want you to consider, before you say you don't have time to sow into someone else, before you think it's not worth it for you to serve somewhere else, I want you to shift your perspective and consider the power of the seeds that you plant. Even if it doesn't look like anything will come of it today, something is coming. Something is happening under the dirt. Don't get caught up in these internet streets with the microwave mindset where everything appears to happen instantaneously. Nothing happens suddenly. Even if you don't see it until it goes viral, something was happening before it came to light, right? There were some videos that didn't make it anywhere. There were some practices, some things that people did not see that were taking place behind the scenes before it became this viral thing. So I want to encourage you. And again, if time is the reason why you feel like you cannot sow or plant seeds to help someone else, to serve somewhere where you will grow and they will grow, right? If you are feeling like you don't have the capacity or you are uncertain about whether it is a good investment of your time, then I strongly encourage you to join me on Monday evening, February 11th, for the Reclaiming Your Time virtual workshop. It is free $99. All you have to do is RSVP. So if you're on Facebook, you can RSVP with the link in the title of the video. On Instagram, you can RSVP with the link in my bio. It is the Reclaiming Your Time virtual workshop. It is part of a 3-part series for the 2019 do-over. For all of you who have been feeling like the year of January was a complete struggle, you were on the struggle bus and you need to shift your perspective. You need to get your plans and your priorities in order so that you can make this the best year yet for you. Be sure you RSVP. If you don't RSVP, you will not get the access information, but it is completely free. So I encourage you to take advantage of it. If you missed any part of this video, then I encourage you to go back to the beginning so that you can catch all of the jewels. And if you have any questions or comments, I can hang out for a few minutes to answer them. And otherwise, again, like I said, make sure you follow me so that you get the alerts when I do these live streams each and every day of the month of February. That's bonuses in addition to the 3-part virtual workshop series. So there's no reason why anybody should be feeling like they're stuck or not getting their lives this month, because I'm giving you way too many jewels for you to be out in these streets like you don't know what is going on. So I will see you all tomorrow. Again, if you missed any part of this, you can catch the replay. Don't forget to share it out so that someone else might be blessed by what is shared. And thanks for tuning in. Have a happy hump day.